We are having this press conference today in Jaffna to bring to the notice of the people of the country the fact that the government is engaged in diversionary tactics. As usual, the President is even using the local authorities' elections as a diversionary tactics from taking people's attention away from the hardships that they are facing due to the cost of living rising, salaries not increasing, the very unjust tax structures that have been imposed on them. With regard to the elections itself, our position is that periodic elections are an important element in establishing that there is democratic governance in the country, and that can never be compromised by postponement of those elections. It's an essential feature of democracy. In fact, that is the way in which we can actually say that our country has a democratic structure. So the local government elections have come 1 year later. It should have happened 1 year ago. It was postponed by the government and it is due before the 19th of March this year. All legal steps were taken and the matter was fixed for elections on the 9th of March. The Treasury released up to 100 million rupees for initial expenses. The United National Party has filed nominations in various places and is contesting the election. They are engaged in widespread campaign, particularly in Colombo and other places. But the Minister of Finance and the leader of the UNP, in his capacity as the Prime Minister when he addressed the Parliament 2 days ago, says that there are no elections. No, officially there is no election. This is the height of absurdity. He has behaved like a circus clown in Parliament the other day, not only by saying this, but also the way in which he behaved, telling young members of Parliament, I brought you into politics, shut up and sit down, and so on. And more seriously, by naming Mr. Salia Peiris President's Council as a party politician, a party lawyer. As far as we all know, Mr. Salia Peiris has been an exemplary personality. He is the President of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka for the last 2 years. He is beyond party politics. He has stood up for the rule of law, for the independence of the judiciary, for all the fundamental tenets by which our country functions, and has come forward to defend the people's rights at the most needed times. And the President naming him as such has to be condemned, because this is a dog whistling exercise. He is trying to set people on Mr. Salia Peiris. This has to be roundly denounced. The President is doing all this to avoid facing an election. He himself is not an elected person. In fact, he lost the election. He couldn't even have himself elected as one of 19 members of Parliament in just one district, the Colombo district. And because of what happened, because of people's struggles with which he identified himself until he got his job as President, he has now accidentally become President. But he is using the executive office, or rather he is abusing and misusing that executive office in the most unprecedented way. And we condemn that conduct, and we say that the election must be held on time. Already the provincial council election has been withheld indefinitely, but at that time itself I twice brought private members bill to rectify that error in the statute in order to have the elections immediately. Unfortunately, the Parliament was dissolved. Thereafter, at the Select Committee of Parliament, I urged that matter, and the Select Committee report actually says that provincial council elections can be held in that way. This is a select committee that was chaired by the Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, but the government hasn't taken any step to do that. So, at the provincial level, there are no people's representatives. Now they are trying to deny the people of representatives at the local level also. Therefore, the country will be left with just one parliament that has lost its mandate, very clearly has lost its mandate, and a president who is not elected by the people. Such a structure, such a governing structure is not democratic at all, and therefore we urge the president not to stifle, not to stop the elections that are being called lawfully, to release the necessary funds as Minister of Finance, and we want to also inform the public officials that they are liable for prosecution for not carrying out the orders of the Election Commission under Article 104 GG1. They can be prosecuted and imprisoned for 3 years if they don't carry out the functions that they are assigned to by the Elections Commission. That goes for the Minister of Finance also, and we strongly denounce the President's statements and urge that the elections be held before the 19th of March as required by law.